It's too late now. We're live. Ready or not, here we come. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second update for the Battle of the Decades Readathon. We got Jaden here, very excited. I love the excitement. Now, I do have to start with some bad news. I was given a formal reprimand after last week's what I thought was an ingenious amount of puns. And Jake did threaten to start taking away points from Team Nirvana, which I thought was really, rude and uncalled for. But so I'm not allowed to make any puns in this stream. It's not kidding. I told them I was going to do something, but I didn't tell them what I was going to do. But hello and welcome here to this second update. Oh, we got Nala causing some emotional.
Hey, Tara. Yeah.
You're welcome. Which book was it?
Daisy Darker.
Ah, okay.
She loved it.
And there's the support. There's the support right there. I appreciate it. But yeah, so let's talk about our team updates and go from there. Do we need to do introductions? Are we good on introductions? It feels weird not to, but I'm pretty sure everyone here knows who we are. Okay.
Well, this is Milo, for anyone wondering. He's very media minute. Hi.
Aww. That's a good introduction.
Milo.
I haven't met Milo.
My lap, Milo. Hey.
But so I'll as long as Milo's okay with it.
Milo's taken over the.
This is a Milo stream.
It's a Milo show.
Okay. So I'll start out with some Team Nirvana updates first. So we have on Team Nirvana, which best team, notwithstanding some news I'm going to give here in a moment. We have now read 105 books across 17 of us, and we've got a really actually funnily even group because we've read 26 of our own prompts, 26 Journey, 26 Green Day, and 27 Fleetwood. So you can't even say that we're attacking anyone because we're pretty across the board. We've had 9 people complete the bonus challenge, and I'm realizing right now that I started typing the answer to the bonus challenge, and I don't think I ever actually clicked submit. So I'm going to do that right after this stream so that I'm setting a good example because that's. I even said something like, "Hey everyone, it's like free points," and then I'm like, I don't think I ever actually posted that. Oh man, I'm a terrible.
Okay. I'm a terrible team leader.
I'm sorry. Yes, we do still have till the end of the month, so it's okay. But so with everything together, we are at 200 positive points and in third place. So I'm pretty sure we were third last week, so we have not changed. But I do have some great news that also still shows that we're awesome. We have, for our top readers, we have the first person in the entire readathon to finish every prompt, which is Mummy to a Rock Star, who was in our top 3 last week, but has finished all 16 prompts, which is ridiculous. That's like one a day average so far. So big round of applause for me to Mummy to a Rock Star. Fantastic. And then we have Pepe Sylvia and Pat Sava in the 2 and 3 slots, not tied anymore. Pepe has come up with 13, whereas Pat Sava is 12. So still some really great performances. I was telling them before the show, I'm still on 5 because I'm reading my big books still, but we're getting there. Also with the team, so we'll hopefully be up a place higher at least for the next update. But there's still time. We're gonna do it. We're gonna find our state of nirvana and just go and read and get the points. I'll pass on. We can go. We'll go clockwise. Jake, if you want to go next.
All right. Let me get the stats up here on my phone. Okay. So, Team Green Day so far has read 110 books across 15 people, and 33 of those books have been for our prompts for a total of 999 points. And then we also have read 24 books against Fleetwood, 29 books against Journey, and 24 books against Nirvana, spreading out the love. And we had 71 books read against us, which was a lot more than last week. 18 from Fleetwood, 27 from Journey, and 26 from Nirvana for minus 710 points. But luckily, we had 15 bonus challenges submitted for 150 points. And if you total all of that up, we have a score of 430 points. And some of our top readers are Manu the Book Nerd with 15 books read, so just one more left to go. And then for number 2 and 3, we have Really Late and Lisa with 14 books.
Nice.
Good stats. I'm still mad, though.
Yeah. Kicked me out of my slot.
So what do you have your stats, Nala?
Oh, I'm out of it. Okay. Yes, I have my stats. Let's do this. Team Journey. We have read 109 books across 17 people so far. 32 books for our own team's prompts. 28 books for Fleetwood Mac. 22 books to attack Nirvana. 27 books to attack Green Day. And 75 books were read against us. That is a lot more than last week, because which we knew I was going to get attacked immediately. We have 10 bonus challenges have been completed so far. So our total score is 310 points, which puts us in second place this week. And let's see, we have my team's top readers so far are Twainy and Andrea B with 12 books submitted each, and Seminus Kendra and Unkind Poodle with 11 books submitted each. Fantastic job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Stacey, do you have a... Okay, perfect. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I have it.
Perfect. I figured you did.
Yeah, Team Fleetwood. Ian is missing today because he's out celebrating his birthday with his family. So happy birthday, Ian, first of all. But I'm here to rep the team. And we have read 86 books across 15 of us so far. 27 books for our own team's prompts, which would be plus 810 points. 20 books for Nirvana prompts. 20 books for Journey prompts. 21 books for Nirvana prompts. And 18 books for Green Day prompts. But we are still the most attacked team and have had 79 books read against us, 28 from Journey, 27 from Nirvana, and 24 from Green Day. So minus 790 points. But thankfully, we did 13 bonus challenges for 130 points. So if you've been following the math, we are at 150 points, which is pretty impressive because last week we're at minus 150. So that's a 300-point swing, even though we were still in last. And our team's top readers so far are Froglet Carly with 12 books submitted, Jigsaw with 10 books submitted, and Sharon with 9 books submitted.
That is uncomfortably close to Nirvana at third place. So I'm like,
we are 50 points behind.
We gotta get some more bonuses done. We had a pretty low bonus so far. So Nirvana people, if you haven't done the bonus, do the bonus. We need some points. I'm doing it too. I will immediately after this.
You did great climbing out of that hole.
That is really impressive. Getting back up from the zero.
Mm-hmm. Very.
I should probably check the chats here really quick because we've had quite a few.
Okay.
Still failing to read. 2 weeks left. Yeah, you do have 2 weeks, so still plenty of time to get books in. Now there's a comment I like to see. It's Brandon McCormack cheering on the best team.
You.
It must have been when Milo was front and center.
Yeah.
And Joshua says that he's going to be the next to finish all the prompts. I think is what that's in reference to.
Okay.
We have Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
We have Andrew spamming the chat. Lisa cheering on. seeing here. And saying Fleetwood is slacking, but I mean, that was a pretty big,
the most attacked.
Pretty big swing. Andrew, you better do the bonus. So I will come to your house and make you. With that bombshell, let's talk about prompts. So I'm gonna put this on the screen for you here, Stace.
Sure. So last week, Fleetwood prompts were like the most read prompts. That has changed. We have more of an even spread this week. And people still don't want to do the all apologies prompt to read the book. They have to apologize for not having read yet. But they also don't seem to want to start series that are not completed either.
That's like my jam.
Also, a lot more people have been doing the know your enemy prompt, which has been fun to see. I collected a bunch.
I just completed that one yesterday. Yeah.
It's been fun to see which books people have done for it. So far, Ian, most people have done his. I think 11 people have. And then 7 people have done mine, 4 people have done Nala's, and 3 people have done Niko's. And
I got 3 now. Awesome.
You're all the way up to 3, man.
I knew mine would be low. 3 is a win, so I'll have to see what they read. I know the first one was, I think, Deathless Beast. But...
Yeah. So far out of the Know Your Enemy books, the most popular one is Daisy Darker with 3.
Yes.
Dark Matter with 5.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I just read Dark Matter.
Well, I think some people submitted Dark Matter not for Know Your Enemy though, but for other.
Oh yeah, could be. Yeah. But it's been read 5 times so far.
This is true.
Do you have what they read for me on there? Or if that's not accessible, that's fine. But I'm just curious.
One person read Deathless Beast, and what else? Dragon Reborn.
Somebody read Dragon Reborn, yeah.
And Wrath.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that worked out with people reading things. 2 of those are obviously series, so someone still started Deathless Beast. See, I figured people who are already in the series might get it. But yeah, I'm counting 3 as a complete win.
Well, there'll be 4 because I'm going to be reading one of your favorites too. I just haven't got there yet.
I was going to say, she's continuing Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I got 40-hour audiobook during a readathon.
Yep.
Is that how long it is?
Yeah, it's 41 hours.
Is it really that early?
Yep.
Oh man, okay.
What?
It's Michael Kramer and Kate Redding though, so you got to minimum be at 1.75, which cuts it almost in half though.
More like 20 hours.
I mean, yeah.
So long.
41 hours and 8 minutes.
I mean, I'm curious because my last Words of Light and Shadow book is probably not that long, but I'm going to be doing that on audio. And it's that's only just under 25 hours. So, okay.
Wow.
It takes quite a long time to read the books. We'll see. We'll try the audio. See how that goes on.
Yeah.
So we got. Yeah, well, I mean, you'd have to start over Valor if you wanted to count it for the readathon, but you're not very far, if I recall correctly, so that might be okay. You try not to do audiobooks longer than 11 hours? I feel like, I don't know, if it's really long, that can be a good way to help. Like, if I'm reading something super long, it's kind of nice to do both, but I also did the entire Wheel of Time on audio for the last reread I did, every single book, so it was a lot of hours. Time.
Yeah, I think my sister is one of those people who can read physically a lot more quickly than they read on audio. So when it's a long book, it just feels like it drags forever on audio. Whereas
that is fair. Reading it. That is definitely fair. Because even with putting the speed faster. Like you can only go so fast and have it still sound good. And so yeah, I mean, usually I'm reading quicker. That's why the one time I tried immersion reading, I'm like, I feel like I have to force myself to read slower, so that it's keeping up. But
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have any other fun stats or?
Yeah.
info
So
or-
the most read book of the readathon is The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and 8 people have submitted that. And following that is Dark Matter with 5 people, and The Crew by Sadir Esmir with 4 people.
Yes, really popular. The Crew. And what was the one you said before that?
Dark Matter.
Or the one before that?
The Only One Left by Riley Sager.
That one. Yeah, that one I've been seeing a lot.
Yeah, it just came out, and it's Jake and my like Thrill Killer Chill, so our thriller buddy read for the month. So
That's why. Okay. Yeah, I read one Riley
I've heard
Sager
of those books.
Huh?
I say I've heard of those books. I have not read any of them.
Yeah, I read one Riley Sager book.
no, which one?
Which one?
The one Jake said was polarizing. House Across the Lake.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was so good.
No,
I
it
love
was,
that one.
Was
we were on
was it
opposite sides.
I
Did
can
you not
see
like
why
the
people.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've read a thriller in my life, but I can't think of an example, to be honest. So,
Really? You're missing out.
I did my my trying a genre. I did Butcher Baker Candlestick Taker by Patricia Meredith, which is historical mystery.
Oh.
So that's probably about as close to a thriller. It was really good. It's one of those things I didn't expect to enjoy historical mystery as much as I did, just because I don't really read that, but it was really, really good. So,
But is there a thriller aspect to it, to that one?
no, I mean it was a murder mystery. I was just saying it's
okay.
probably about as close
Yeah.
as I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to get out of your comfort zone.
I think I've read a thriller.
In my life.
Replace that with a million, and then you've got it.
I mean, I mostly read fantasy. I've been expanding a little bit more, but I didn't used to read as much volume, even close to as what I do now. So I was just like, I'd grab fantasy series, I'd finish one, I'd find the next one I wanted to read. Now I get through a lot more volume now than I used to, now that I have BookTube and all of that. So
you can stay in fantasy for a good long while.
I mean, I could read nothing but fantasy for the rest of my life and still not get to everything. So it's one of those things. That's why I don't feel bad for prioritizing it. It's my favorite. Yeah. There's so much.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to prioritize some older series or series that have been around a long time that are lesser known. And I've loved so many of them. And there's a lot of new or great stuff that's new too, but I like a lot of the older stuff. So I'm still going back and trying to read big series, let alone get to all the new stuff too. So keep me busy.
Yeah.
I can't. I will get in a slump if I read the same genre too many times.
I was just gonna say that too. Yeah, fantasy will always be a favorite of mine. Like I can stay in a fantasy like 3 books in a row, but after that I'll start to feel like I need to jump to a different genre, which is why I love so many genres. Yeah, I read a variety of different genres every month, or else because I just get burnt out and I need a different, storyline, a different change of speed.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I started. Is that? Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
When I was a kid, I would read a lot. I would just kind of read whatever was there, like whatever the school library and the public library had. That's what I would read because that's what I had access to.
Yeah.
And then I started reading The Wheel of Time at like age 11. And then I just read The Wheel of Time for a few years, over and over again. So that's where I'm like, I don't really get tired of fantasy. It's there's so much of it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's so many different subgenres.
Mm-hmm.
We have feels screwing, but sometimes it's worth it. Like Hob. Yeah, Hob is definitely good. I think the saying mysteries and thrillers can only do so many.
Yep.
Yeah. I think for me, it's that I like to switch up the pacing and the tone and the density.
Yes. Me too.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's this not this week. Like I already said, I barely got any reading done this week, but I did a weird collection of audio because I was having trouble getting into other stuff because I was so into the physical book I was reading. And so I did a comedic sci-fi satire by Steven Erikson. I did one of the Lady Trent's books. I did The Lesser Dead by Bielman, which is like 70s vampires in New York, which is weird. And then I did Butcher Baker, which is historical mystery. So it was all kinds of different stuff, which was actually kind of nice. That's where like I get the whole thing of just throwing different stuff in there. I've started to enjoy that more, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I try to do every month.
I see.
I'll read a fantasy, sci-fi, or just mix it up every month.
I had it. My context clues were wrong. I picked the opposite. It's saying they could always read mysteries and thrillers. So that's a very new genre for me. Maybe I'll have to try a thriller or something at some point. But even mystery is not something I typically read.
I don't think I could do that with any genre, like not fantasy or thrillers, because either way, it's just going to get too monotonous.
Right. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I think the only thing I could manage that with is maybe romance, because then you've got like paranormal romance, fantasy romance, contemporary romance, dark romance, and they're all sort of different.
Yeah, but I don't like romance.
Your wife will understand.
Have you
I'm sure. I mean, dedicated romance, probably not. But my wife is trying to. She's roped me into a deal where I read one of her dark romance books, and she has to read a book that I like, which is going to be Assassin's Apprentice. I was really tempted to like try and force her to read something like bigger and longer, but I'm like, I'm trying to find something she'll actually like, even though I don't expect to enjoy the book she wants me to read.
Do you know what she's making you read?
Yeah, but I don't think I should say it live. Based on what I've heard from her and Sharon talking about it. So.
Oh, I already know.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What do we got? So after reading Never Lie by Frida McFadden, the only one left by Riley Sager, was much better, even though I only gave it an overall 3 stars. Top 5. I think that can depend. That's why I always put some subjectivity in my book review, like star ratings. So like, how good is it? How much did I enjoy it? For sure.
Yeah.
We have across genres. Don't do much fantasy, but you can find fantasy with some realism too. Like, just depends. It really does. Do I like bromance? Have you never seen me interact with Andrew?
No.
You very well may not have. That's totally fine.
The best bromance.
Well, you're really late. Kidding. That doesn't count as a pun, Jake.
That's hilarious.
Minus 10 points. Minus 10 points.
That was technically true. This is really late. I mean,
time. Every time.
All right, I won't dock you this time.
Okay. Short story collections. I'm trying to do more. I'm doing a couple this month. But I've never been a huge fan of short stories, but I've read some good collections lately.
I love short stories.
You do a lot, don't you?
Yeah. A lot of my favorite authors are great with short stories. Stephen King, George R. Martin, Ray Bradbury. Just I've always loved them.
It's like a special talent to be able to do that well.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my husband and I debated swapping, but we read the same books mostly. So that helps, but that is not the case with my wife and I. that's why she was actually really happy when I started doing BookTube, because then I would talk to other people about books that they actually care about instead of talking to her in the nicest way. Like, she'd listen to me talk about books. I know she didn't care. It's not the stuff she likes, but
Yeah.
so.
Luckily, me and Stacy do have some overlap.
Yeah, I was gonna say you two are kind of opposite, but not sometimes.
It depends on the genre, I think.
Yeah.
Like with sci-fi, we're very opposite, but with fantasy, we're very close.
And then with horrors and thrillers, I feel like it can go either way.
Yeah. For me, it's all about how logical it is, if it makes sense, if the twist is well laid out, and if the foreshadowing is on point. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't tell me too much, but it tells me enough to be intrigued. Whereas with Jake, he's more in for the characters.
Characters, atmosphere, just I don't know. And if a book can like really shock me, I'm all about that.
Yes. See, yeah, I'm with Jake on that. On that one, but I'm a mix of you two together. Like that's yeah. How both of you are. I'm a mix of both. I need both. Like I'm character driven, but I also need a plot as well. But it's all about atmosphere, and I need to be attached to the characters 100%. Yeah.
And it's funny how like we do have some overlap, but then some of our like all-time favorite books we just completely disagree on. Like I love Imaginary Friend. She gave it like 2 stars, and she's a huge Red Rising fan. I do not.
And you
like
hate
that.
it. Yeah, we know. You hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some book deals in the past for sure. It's been funny.
I agree, Lisa. I agree. I'm not a big romance reader. Like I'm not seeking out romance books, but a lot of books, authors feel the need to always include one, which bothers me. I hate that, but they feel like they always need to put one in there. So sometimes it can ruin it for me.
Yeah, there's been like one of my favorite series has romance I did not root for, like rooted against. I still love it, but like it was rough.
It was like at the forefront. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. If it's there and it serves a purpose, or it doesn't feel like it's forced, then I'm fine with it. But I'm not really wanting that to be the focus.
Yeah, me too.
And then we can get cheesy so easily. Also probably true.
Yeah.
And then we have a much stronger opinion.
Yes.
So we go from sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it doesn't work for me. I hate it. I hate it. Speaking of different tastes. Well, there's something we should all agree on.
Yes.
I said should, because I know we don't, but that's something Jake and I are together on for sure.
Yeah. So what do you hate about it so much? And Stacy, what do you love about it? So I can see the two sides.
Well, Stacy knows why I don't like it. As I've said, I'm a character reader, and I cannot stand Darrow. And the whole series is in his perspective, and I don't like it.
Okay.
The first 3 books.
Like multiple POVs.
That
it goes multiple POV.
Good character.
I do also hate the character, but I also just think it's bad. And
like the
everybody
writing
says,
or the story.
I mean, both. But it's
all of it.
It's Ender's Hunger Games. It's so cheesy, but also trying to be edgy. And like everyone says, book 2 is so much better, and book 2 was written better. But I actually I don't know if I could say I disliked it as much as the first book, but it was close.
Anytime Darrow like starts to speak or like give like a speech to somebody, I'm just like, this is so bad. Like this is just the worst.
It was that part, like the beginning in the first book. I'm just like the lines. He's like, my father, he taught me how to dance. Like, what are we doing? That's a real thing in there. And it's supposed to be like really emotional. And I'm like, bro, no, come on. And there were so many. I'm gonna stop talking about it right now because I don't want to rant about this. But so anyway, like fantasy, but there aren't enough one-off books and too many. Yeah, this is true. As someone who's reading book 9/8 or 9 of like a 10-11 book series right now, but it is. I feel like with fantasy, and it's probably some other genres, but fantasy especially, people feel like it has to be a trilogy at least. But I love my long series. It's the thing.
Yeah.
I do love my long series.
It can.
That would be another example of something stupid from Red Rising. I should have checked the comments first. Going back to this topic. This is a very important plot device. It's very important plot device. Yes. And
damn.
Oh, I'm so mad. In book 2, an incredibly important plot device still.
No, it's in book 1.
Yeah, but it gets brought up in book 2.
Okay, that's fair.
Because if you say gory damn instead of bloody damn, then they know you're an imposter because only the peasants would say that.
The other way around.
Whatever.
Gory is gold, bloody is red.
Oh, man.
So good. I don't know if this is directed at me or not, but yeah, Shadow Rising is great. I'm trying to move on. This is like, well, I joined Andrew's stream with Bookborn last night, and I accidentally turned into a stream about hating the Wheel of Time show, and it was fantastic, but I felt kind of bad for making it stream go off course.
But as long as it's fantastic,
it was so much fun. Bookborn had so many strong opinions, and it was just great. So. My sister loves fantasy, but they're all basically romance with a sort of castle, so I can't read them if she loves them. Oh, I imagine there's a lot of that. Probably. I haven't read a lot of those ones, but I imagine there are a lot of them. There's an unpopular opinion, but you still hated one of them, so I'm okay with it. Note. Oh, you're doing Malison for a readathon?
Yeah,
oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing Wars of Light and Shadow, so I feel you. This is the worst thing to do for a readathon too. But yeah, Malison is not probably great for. Which book are you on?
I think he's on book 1, which is
Lesson learned.
Okay, that's at least good. If you're on Toll the Hounds, you're screwed.
1,200-page brick.
Well, yeah,
it's good you're enjoying, but yeah, it's the long books are definitely harder to fit in. We lost a couple of viewers that probably like Red Rising. Sorry, guys.
Well, I like Red Rising too.
All right, we're gonna remove you from the stream. No, I'm kidding.
Well, real quick, why do you love it? Why do you love it, Stacey?
Well, it's mainly the pacing and the story, and it's just very emotional.
So you don't think it's cheesy? Clearly not.
I mean, it has its moments that could be cheesy, but the more time you spend in the world, it's good.
I'm willing to hear the other viewpoint. I'll be
Should we get into the bonus challenge?
We should get into the bonus challenge.
We could. Do you want to announce it, babe?
You announce it. I'll open the channel.
Okay. That's probably the best way to do it.
An hour later, after all the tangents. You guys are never going to ask me to host again. I'm so sorry.
No, you're doing a great job.
It's fine. I love it.
Anyway, so last week we did bonus challenge 1, which a lot of people have done, which is great. Now, starting today, I'm guessing Stacy's going to open it soon. We're doing bonus challenge 2, which is a repeat of last rounds, or one of the last rounds challenges, which is to film yourself doing something to a song from your team's decade. So you could either sing along, you could lip sing, you could dance, or you could play an instrument. Like I play drums on one of them, or you could recruit a family member or a friend, because I know some people claim that they don't have any musical talent, or maybe they're too shy. So there are a lot of ways you can do this, but essentially we're going to open up a channel in the Discord and you'll just post your video there. My advice would be to limit it to like a 10 to 20 second video, because Discord can be nuggety about the length of the video that you can post. So I would try to
Nitro.
I learned that the hard way last time.
You did. You had one of the most memorable ones, I think.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a good chunk of the song, and I got it mostly there eventually. But yeah, I had to cut it and edit it to be the worst possible quality, and I didn't think YouTube was going to block it.
Yeah, so was mine. I had to do the same thing. Yeah.
I tried to just upload to YouTube unlisted, and they still tagged it immediately, even though I used a karaoke version of the song that was publicly available on YouTube.
They'll always catch it.
Huh.
But yeah, that's the second bonus challenge.
Now, to clarify, you said any song from the decade, not from our team specifically?
It does not.
Oh.
It does not have to be from your team's band. It can be from any song in your team's decade.
Okay, yeah, because that is the difference.
Realize that.
That's the difference between round 1. Okay.
Well, that means I can do a lot of different stuff for that.
What are you thinking, Nico? What are you thinking?
Well, I've always wanted to cover Slaughter of the Soul.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. I'm gonna actually that's one of the things I was gonna post in the first challenge one, because it's a great album and I love the song. But if you look, I just opened up bonus challenge 2, and you can still see my typed out message that I've never actually clicked send on. I wasn't kidding, because I was gonna grab more links and then I got sidetracked. But that's the first link, so it's a good song. I've always wanted to cover it, so maybe I will.
So that's by Madonna, right?
Yes. Yeah. At the Gates, Kings of Melodic Death Metal.
Oh boy.
Lord, we're in for it.
It should be fun. Like I said, I've always wanted to cover it. I never have, and that guy has a very different style than I do. But I've sang it to myself before, so it'll be interesting. You can all,
I'm sure.
like I said, in a short while, I'll post it. Well, I'm gonna have to do a really short clip this time, but it'll be fun. So
yeah,
I'm gonna look really quick because the chat's going. So, like some books, but don't want that much of a commitment. Oh, talking about
fantasy
having
things.
more standalones. The Lannisters are my favorite in A Song of Ice and Fire. Oh, because we were asked for more unpopular opinions.
Oh,
is that I don't like A Song of Ice and Fire. There's an unpopular opinion.
That is an unpopular opinion.
That's my original unpopular opinion. I've had that like for over a decade. So, we have song. Yeah, it is song from the decade. So, because I confirmed. So
yeah. If you're on Team 90s, any 90s song.
That leaves a lot of options.
There's so many options.
But
I might do a couple just for fun, to be honest.
Go for it.
I might as well. My brother is going to be popping in later this week, so I might see if he's up for doing something with me, because at this point, the rest of my family has made an appearance on one. So we'll see.
He'll play piano and you'll sing?
Maybe, yeah. If he's up for it. And if he's not in a hurry, we'll see.
Yeah.
Does animation count? They animated themselves.
Yeah. Sure.
I was just saying, I'm intrigued to see that, so I'm cool. And this is true. T did play a slide whistle for his, which
that was awesome. That was funny.
Not expecting that at all.
I think I was the first one that he told because him and I were speaking about it at the same time, and he told me, I was like, do the whistle. And it was great. I loved it. That was hilarious.
Yes, Tots of Oz was great.
Oh yeah,
I really enjoyed all of them. There wasn't, I don't think, a single one I didn't enjoy, to be honest. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. That's why we decided to bring it back this round.
Yeah. But like you get more options, I guess, but you have to choose one, so that probably doesn't
Yeah.
make it harder.
yeah.
So.
It should come with more points.
Nice.
I'd like to know the viewers have once again dropped by a few, so I might be scaring everyone off.
We were up here at the start, and then bloop, 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 bloop.
They were like 11, 9, 6. I'm like, oh no. Oh man.
You got to start scouting popular opinions now so we can get more viewership.
I mean, I like Wheel of Time. I like Brandon Sanderson. I'm a big Hobb fan, as long as we're talking about the first 9 books. That's both a popular and an unpopular opinion. There we go.
Now they don't know what.
Yeah, I like Faithful. Greenbone Saga. It took me until book 3, but I loved book 3. So I thought that was going to be another unpopular opinion. There we go. People like that one.
Is that Jade City, right? Greenwood Saga.
Yeah, Jade City. I didn't think it was bad, but I'm like, this is okay. Not crazy about it.
I'm debating on that because it's urban fantasy, right?
Yeah, technically, it's that kind of like an indeterminate time period, though. But I have a video like a why you should or shouldn't read, where I talk about why I like it and why other people like it.
Okay.
Because it's very character focused, and a lot of people like it for that. But I loved it does a really, really amazing job of like the big picture of how the events really change things in the big long term, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Going back to urban fantasy, I think it depends how you define it, because some people define urban fantasy as like fantasy set in a city type of setting. And yes, it counts for that. But if you're talking about urban fantasy set in a real life city, then no, like it's a made up place.
Okay. So it's made up, but are there like cell phones and things like that?
Yes, I think so. I don't remember from the first book.
It definitely feels like our world, which I typically don't like fantasy like that. I like
I don't either.
Building, yeah.
But you liked it too?
I have the same opinion as Nico. Book 1 and 2 were pretty good, but then book 3 kind of just stepped it up, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like urban fantasy typically either, but that's why I was a slow convert, but I got there. And as T pointed out, the popular opinions did get the viewers back up, so we're good. Yeah, Ian, whatever Ian does should be pretty great. So
yeah.
I mean, he probably could. He probably could.
Yeah, he was great.
I feel like if I tried to do a music channel, it would be even more niche than doing old fantasy books as a channel.
I'll subscribe.
I mean, it's all out there publicly, so it's on all the streaming, and Fletcher posts it on his channel, so there. It is there. I don't think Nala knows what I'm talking about, but
no, I have no idea.
I have a band that consists of me and Michael R. Fletcher, the Grimdark author.
Oh.
Yeah. It's called Blackstone Heart. It's available on all streaming. It's really easy to get your music on streaming, just so you guys know. It costs like $25 a year or something. So far, I think I've made $4 in like 4 years, which is even lower than YouTube.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. This has been a chaotic stream, but I'm here for it. So we probably should wrap up here, but final question. Do you guys do you know what have any ideas on what you're going to do for bonus challenge 2? Just out of curiosity.
I'm keeping it under wraps until I discuss it with my brother and see if he's up for it.
That's fair.
I have no idea. I'm going to have to think on this. I'm going to have to, because it was hard enough just to narrow it down to 3 favorites for challenge 1. Now I got to pick one to do something to. So yeah, it's going to take a second for me to think on.
Yeah, I submitted one as an example, but I'll probably end up doing another one, and I'll have to think about what I want to do because there's a lot of options.
Is your kit together at the moment, or do you still have it taken apart?
No, I still gotta put it together. I think I was talking about Nico with this before we went live, but there was a drummer. Like apparently, my neighbor has a drum set now, and he was playing kind of badly, and so that kind of inspired me to get it together. I'll probably get it together tomorrow.
It was really funny because I could hear faint drumming in the background.
Yeah.
Be funny if you played at the same time, kind of battle it out and
I think I know who would win.
Mm-hmm. You think he's
oh,
go ahead.
I told Jake, now you know how everyone felt when you were learning.
I was going to say, do you think they're learning? Is it like the learning phase?
It's not the learning phase. They are probably just they're like beginner. Like they know how to like play, but they don't know how to play in time very well.
Okay.
Hey, Ian's in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We did mention that earlier.
Yes, we did.
Also, Lisa, I will expect a kazoo now. You've made a promise. You better keep it.
I have a cat now.
Tink.
Want to be held? No.
I do have a question about Robin Hobb because it intimidates me, but I do want to jump into Assassin's Apprentice at some point. I know it's slow, right? It's slow to start off. Is it dense?
So Assassin's Apprentice, not so much, but the first trilogy, the books get longer and a little bit denser. And it is fairly slow and fairly dense, but not as dense as some, I would say. With Hobb, I feel like because the first trilogy starts with Assassin's Apprentice's first person POV. The second trilogy is a third person with multi POV. So it really depends how you like the character. Some people really don't like the first trilogy, but absolutely love the second one. But I think if you feel the character, and I will say, even me being like a huge fan of the trilogy and like the next couple of trilogies, I was not sold on the first book. That was another one where I'm like, this took a while for me to get into, but then book 2, I fell in love hard.
Yeah, I feel like I would love Fitz. I want to see how I am with Fitz. But he is the main character, right? And you're like just following him.
Yeah, for the first Farseer's Fitz, and then there's 2 other trilogies with him, and then there's a trilogy and a quartet that are multi POV.
I know Stacy didn't love Farseer.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was hard because you follow Fitz when he's like 6 in the first book. Well, 6 to preteen or something. But anyway, he's not very like with it in terms of what's going on around him. He's just busy telling you what he had for breakfast. And I'm just like, okay, but like, who's this? And what are they up to? And like, you know.
Yeah. Well, the 6-year-old POV took a while to get used to. You don't stay at that age long, but it was still a jarring way to start a book.
Yeah.
I had some logic complaints too.
Yeah. She read it twice.
I read Way of Kings in, I think, 4 days.
Oh, boy.
I read most of them in 3 to 4 days. Rhythm of War took me a little longer when it came out because I was busy and I couldn't just sit and read it nonstop.
Speaking of long audios, those are like the longest audios for fantasy, I
Those
think,
are
because they're all like 50 hours easily.
Outlander's longer, and Green Angel Tower series, the last one.
Oh yeah.
That one's
that
in
is-
like the 60s.
Oof.
Oh my gosh, such a great book.
Wow.
It is a huge book, to be fair. Like, I mean, I have it back here, the paperback. I feel like you can tell, but it is.
It's like
Yeah.
split into 2 parts, right?
Yeah, unless you have the original hardcover. Like they did do the new paperback, but I mean, and it's not the tiniest text, but it's not large.
Yeah.
It is a chonker because this is over 1,000 pages. In mass market paperback, it's like 1,500 pages. But
Oof.
it's a chonker. It's heavy. Look at that original art, though. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that one the third one in the series?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had it right. I just was like second guessing myself. Wait a minute, it's the third one in whatever that series is. But yeah, some of the Outlander books, like 5 and 6, I think are 55 and 57 hour audios. And then that one's like a 60 something hour, 62 hours maybe.
Oof.
Yeah. I will say Martin had the greatest comment on the series because he said it is a trilogy, but the first book is reasonable, the second book is longer, and the third book's a behemoth. And Martin, his blurb was, "This inspired me to write my own 7-book trilogy." I still think that's a great line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the longest series that anyone's read? How many books?
For me, it's Dresden Files.
Oh, that's a good one. It's probably Wheel of Time for me. 14.
I haven't finished Dresden, but that's got to be the longest.
How many?
How many are there, babe? There's like 17 or 18.
Well,
Whoa.
hang on. Let me look. Because
Did you say
Battleground is number 17, but then there's 2 short story collections and a novella.
I made it up to book 14.
17?
I made it up to book 14, and then I kind of just quit because it was just, I don't know. I'll get back to it, but I'm going to get back to it when he actually finishes all of it, and then I'll just reread it.
Oh, there's not even done yet.
No.
Yeah, I think it's like half done.
What?
I think there's going to be like 20, 25 or 28.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What?
Something ridiculous.
That's insane. People are willing to stick. I feel like that's just too much. I feel like there's a cap that needs to be reached, and that's just beyond the cap. Like, who's
No,
gonna-
I just looked up, and apparently, if you go by word count, the longest series is Malazan, which is even longer word count than Wheel of Time or Dresden. Dresden's on the list, even though it's got more books. But
Yeah.
And Hobb was actually on there too. So I guess that's 9. That's 16 books, isn't it? Or is
For
it-
Malice,
Yeah.
for Malazan, does that
Yeah.
count all of the other stuff like the Esselman books?
That's
Or
not,
just-
yeah.
That's a good point. I don't know. It says published books 13, so I don't know what that's including, but it must be including something else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets hairy whether to count a series as like the extended universe or just like the core series, right?
Yeah.
So something
'Cause,
like
I mean-
First Law, because that's a whole universe now.
Or the Cosmere. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
4 Stormlights and 7 Mist.
I usually kind of like individual series. There was a really good chart, but I say Crown of Stars is on lists too, which is a great one. That's only 7 books. Yeah.
Lisa, was that Throne of Glass that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the 8-book one. So yeah.
Yeah, I still have to jump into that one. What'd you
Me
think of
too.
that one, Stace? Oh, you haven't done that either?
Yeah, I only read the first one and I didn't really understand the hype for it at the time, but people say to read the like prequel first because it gets you more attached. So I
Oh.
think if I try again, I'll do that and then reread book 1 and then keep going.
Oh, well, maybe we can do that together. I haven't, because I haven't jumped into that at all. I didn't even know there was a prequel for that one.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. I am so curious now.
Yes, we gotta end the stream so we can go watch that.
I was gonna say we're actually about to hit an hour, so we probably is a good time. But I just looked, and yeah, we got that's the only one. But based on the thumbnail, I'm very curious.
Yeah, we need to check it out now.
All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun, a bit chaotic, but just know that Nirvana is going to somehow pull victory into our grasp, and hopefully not be in third place, and also not fourth, I should say. 'Cause if I say hopefully not third place next time, or fourth, somehow we're going to win.
Well, we all have to read Green Day prompts this week, apparently.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
No, you
I'm
don't.
almost done with Green Day prompts. That's like the
I've only
one
read
prompt
one.
for all my
I still have
audience.
some left. I have some left for everyone. So.
All
It'll be
right.
fun.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. We'll check back next week. We'll be not here, but somewhere for another update. But good luck to everyone.
Bye.